While the world argues over tweets, trends, and televised debates, the planet is quietly unraveling behind the scenes. Crises are multiplying. People are suffering. Whole nations are being torn apart. But no one's talking about it. This is what's really happening right now. The stories that never make it to your feed. The real news that's been buried or flat out ignored. Let's begin. 1. The silent war in Ethiopia. Round 2 after a devastating civil war in Ethiopia's Tigray region that ended with a fragile ceasefire in 2022. Most of the world checked out. They thought the war was over. It wasn't. By late 2023, a new war broke out, this time in the Amhara region, once an ally of the federal government. The people who fought with the army are now being hunted by it. Airstrikes, village raids, and internet blackouts are hiding a brutal counterinsurgency campaign. The death toll is unknown, but some reports estimate thousands are being killed quietly. Humanitarian aid is being blocked. Journalists can't get in. And for the millions who live there, it's a war with no witnesses. 2. Colombia's disintegrating peace. After signing peace with the FARC in 2016, Colombia was celebrated worldwide. But that peace was only a headline, not a reality. Now in 2025, criminal groups and rebel factions are stronger than ever. In places like Cauca and Chaco, entire towns are under the control of cartels and paramilitaries. Illegal mining and coca cultivation are fueling bloody turf wars. The number of mass killings has skyrocketed. Human rights leaders are being assassinated in record numbers. And thousands of indigenous families have been forced to flee their ancestral lands. But international coverage? Barely a whisper. 3. Madagascar's climate famine. While some still argue about climate change, Madagascar is living through it right now. Southern Madagascar has become a dry, cracked wasteland. Rain hasn't fallen in years. Families eat leaves, cactus fruit, and clay just to survive. Children are dying in their mother's arms because there's literally nothing left to eat. This is not caused by war or politics. It's caused by the earth changing in real time. And it's the first famine in modern history directly linked to global warming. Yet, most of the world hasn't even heard about it. 4. The Myanmar Civil War. A nation in flames. In 2021, Myanmar's military staged a coup. They arrested elected leaders and took full control of the country. But they didn't expect the people to fight back. In 2025, Myanmar is in full-blown civil war. Dozens of ethnic militias and newly formed civilian defense forces are battling the military junta. Towns have been captured, bases destroyed, but the military has responded with massacres and airstrikes on civilians. Over 3 million people have been displaced. Villages are torched. Children are shot. And after a deadly earthquake in early 2025 killed thousands more, the country is drowning in blood and rubble. Still, almost no one is watching. 5. Haiti's collapse into anarchy. Haiti isn't just unstable, it's collapsing. Since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021, Haiti has had no functioning government. In 2025, violent gangs now control up to 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Schools are shut down. Ports are blocked. Gangs stormed jails and freed thousands of inmates. Even the presidential palace was attacked. The interim prime minister tried to bring in help from abroad, but when he left to negotiate, gangs blocked his return. He's now stranded, and the country is leaderless. Over 160,000 people have fled their homes. And while the world debates immigration, no one asks why Haitians are running. 6. Iran's invisible crackdown. In the wake of the 2022 protests, Iran built a digital prison. In 2025, surveillance is everywhere. Cameras track women without hijabs. Facial recognition software leads to silent arrests. Popular apps are banned, and citizens are imprisoned just for speaking out online. The regime is arresting teenagers, torturing dissidents, executing protesters. But most of the world has stopped paying attention. The headlines moved on. The people didn't. 7. The rare earth war. Africa's hidden exploitation. Electric vehicles, smartphones, solar panels. They all run on rare earth minerals. But where do they come from? In Congo, Zambia, and Madagascar, children dig for cobalt in dangerous, unregulated mines. Chinese, American, and European corporations strike secret deals with corrupt governments to extract these resources, often leaving local communities poisoned and displaced. They call it green energy. But for millions of Africans, It's just a new kind of colonization. 8. Balkans on the brink. The new Balkan Spring. Since late 2024, protests have erupted across the Balkans. In Serbia, Slovakia, Turkey, Greece, Montenegro, and North Macedonia. It started with a train station collapse in Serbia that killed 16 people, blamed on corruption. Silent student tributes were attacked, and anger exploded. In Slovakia, protesters chant "Slovakia is Europe" after their PM visited Moscow and gutted the judiciary. In Turkey, the arrest of the Istanbul mayor sparked massive unrest. Even Pikachu became a symbol of protest, spreading across borders as a meme of resistance. Governments are cracking. Prime ministers are resigning. But outside the region, almost no one knows it's happening. 9. Somalia's endless war. Somalia has been at war for decades. But 2025 has seen a terrifying surge. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked terror group, is regaining ground. Bombings are killing dozens every week. And the Somali government, weakened by internal rifts, is struggling to respond. Meanwhile, drought and famine threaten over 4 million people. Aid groups are blocked. Infrastructure is gone. It's a humanitarian disaster, but with no cameras, no outrage, and no attention. 10. The ocean current that's about to collapse. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, is a giant system of ocean currents that stabilizes global climate. It's the reason Europe isn't frozen. It's what keeps the Amazon wet. It literally keeps the planet alive. And it's slowing down fast. If it collapses, Europe could face temperatures dropping 10 to 15 degrees Celsius within decades. Coastal cities would flood. Droughts would hit the Amazon. The monsoons would shift. And billions would be affected rapidly. Scientists now say this collapse could happen as early as this century. But most people haven't even heard the name. 11. Uyghur oppression in Xinjiang, still happening. China's crackdown on the Muslim Uyghur population continues under the radar. Over 1 million people have been detained in re-education camps. Inside, reports detail torture, forced sterilizations, and slave labor. Families are broken apart. Children are raised without their culture. People are disappearing. And yet, the world stays largely silent, either due to economic interests or China's information blackout. It's not over. It never stopped. It's just no longer trending. The world isn't quiet. It's full of screams no one hears, of wars with no reporters, of deaths with no obituaries, of disasters with no headlines. And every time we scroll past the noise, someone else's reality fades into silence. It's easy to believe that if something isn't on the news, it isn't happening. But now you know better. So share this video. Tell someone. Look deeper, because the most important stories are the ones you're not being told.